Hello and welcome to the first ever Chicago 60 podcast episode. We are super excited to be bringing you this new podcast. I am your host, Justin Jawor, and I have here with me my co-host, Norm Burt. Say something to the people, Norm.
I am his co-host, Norm Burt. Is that enough?
Oh, that was perfect. Thank you. That's exactly what I was hoping for. So, we wanted to transition. Some of you who have already been following the Chicago 60 YouTube channel will know that we have been doing a lot of things with the Walter and Connie Payne Foundation. We did an event out there. We were doing a lot of videos about the Chicago Bears. We were doing a lot of things for the Bearman and for the Chicago Bears Tailgating Club. So shout out to all you guys. We'll tag you in the post below and in the first episode. But we were doing a lot. It was very centric around our dear friend, Mike Jaworski. Well, what we really wanted this episode and this show to be about was to promote everything that was about Chicago, how amazing this city is, how kooky this city is, how in some cases corrupt as shit this city is. But there's a lot of very cool things going on, and we have a lot of very, very cool things coming out for you. So just to get off the bat, since this is the intro episode of the podcast, just to give you an update and kind of give you a teaser as to what you can expect from this podcast. One, we're going to be bringing you a lot of perspective on what's going on in the city, both from the news. We're going to be reviewing restaurants, bars, shows, all across the city so that you, the Chicagoans out there, know where to go, where's the best places to eat, what's the best shows to go see, who are the up-and-coming artists. We're eventually going to be having, Norm, a bunch of guests on the show. Probably not sitting on this couch with us, ideally. But a couch somewhere.
Couch.
Yeah. We'll be moving to a new studio sometime in the next few months. We're currently in process of looking into that.
And we're going to try to do a lot of the things that you won't have to do.
Right.
So we're going to eat at the restaurants that you don't have to go to.
Exactly.
And do the things that you don't want to do.
Exactly, right. We're going to do it all for you so that you don't have to. You can just go do the good stuff. So that's pretty much it. But we're going to have a lot of guests on. So, one thing that I've heard a lot of people say to me is, hey, I'm out, I'm hanging out at home, Norm, and I am just, I know, by myself, and I have nothing to do. What am I going to do on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday? I guess I'll just Bumble or Tinder somebody and go on a date. No, but even if yes, at least have somewhere to take the person, other than because Norm, typically I like to go out for like a drink or cocktails with a nice lady if I'm going on a date. But maybe there's a really cool rapper that's playing at a venue right near your house that you didn't even know about, or maybe there's a cool new jazz venue that just popped up that you had no idea about. In case you're into that, I'm into jazz. You into jazz, Norm?
I do like jazz, but personally I like to eat.
Perfect. Exactly. Okay, so we're going to get to the eating portion.
See, I like to eat, so if I'm going to take someone out, we're going to be eating, so get ready to eat.
Perfect. Exactly.
Really eat.
Okay,
yeah.
Meals.
Meals. Straight meals.
Just straight meals.
No appetite.
We're mealing up in this place.
We're not talking about tapas here. We're talking about full meals.
Yeah, right. We're not talking about Cafe Barbariba, okay? No. We're talking about legit Chicago food. Okay, and there's a lot of cool places that people don't know about. So we're gonna bring on all these cool people for you in the upcoming months, and we're gonna interview them. And you're gonna get to know about these people. You're gonna get to know about their venues. We're gonna be promoting them not only when they come on the show, but also after the fact as well. We're gonna be having a website coming up as well in this year. So once we have the website up, keep tuned because we're going to keep a running track record of everybody we have on the show, where they're playing, performing, etc. So you can use the Chicago 60 as a resource for you to know where to go in the city, where to have a fun time, and where to meet and see some of these great up-and-coming artists. The next Chance the Rapper could be on this show, Norm.
Me? Oh, no, he doesn't mean me.
No, not Norm. Norm is definitely not going to be the next Chance the Rapper.
Oh, God, no. That's too much work.
Yeah,
that's too much responsibility. But we're also going to do something he mentioned before is couch stories. We're going to have people come in and just tell their stories. Random individuals who some you don't, artists, performers, just random people off the street. Everyone's got a good story. Everyone's got that one thing that they tell everyone, that everyone laughs about, everyone talks about, even some stories that aren't so wonderful. We're just going to sit down, we're going to listen to those stories, and we're going to have those for you to listen to, and it's going to be a fun time. It's going to be a good time.
So there's this podcast is going to get fairly nuanced, and there's going to be a lot of amazing content from, just to give a quick recap, because I know we said a lot there, from the news that's going on, from where to go eat, from guests for up-and-coming artists, musicians, comedians, improvisers, shows. We're going to tell you all about that. And then we're going to have some sketches. We're going to do some sketch comedy. So we're going to be coming out with some of that after the summer as well. And then, like Norm said, these couch stories where we're going to have very interesting and just everyday Chicagoans on the podcast, on the show, to talk about something interesting that happened to them, or there will be specific topics that we want to cover, and that person will come on and tell us. Because, a lot of what I've noticed is there are, beyond people who are famous, right, there's a lot of, everybody's interesting for the most part. I haven't met too many people that I've found uninteresting. Maybe, me, except for me. I'm uninteresting. But there's but a lot of you Chicagoans out there have very amazing stories, and we want to hear your stories and how you came to be where you are today, or just something interesting that maybe have happened to you on the CTA. God knows there's so many stories from the CTA.
I've got at least 5.
Yeah, I can think of at least 5 off the top of my head for
from
sure.
This morning.
Yeah, absolutely. So so that's the stuff we want to bring to you. It'll be fun. It'll be hilarious. It'll be also educational, ideally, and we're gonna throw some cool stuff out there. So that's the new Chicago 60 podcast, everybody. Now, a couple of other very quick things. For those of you who will be watching Facebook Live, not sure there might be anybody watching right now, but as the show progresses and we have people on Facebook Live, the Facebook Live portion will cover the first half hour of the Chicago 60 show. Then if you want to see the rest of the Chicago 60 show, you'll have to subscribe to us on iTunes. We will be posting onto iTunes. And you will also have to subscribe to our YouTube if you want to see the video portion of this show. And once I would say probably between the June, July area, we're going to have a super sweet studio. We're going to have a bunch of guests on as well. We're probably going to start guests on beginning in, I would imagine, May to like early June. So for the first part, you're going to be stuck with Norm and myself. But then we're going to have some really, really interesting people on after that. And we also can't forget about the man behind the podcast and who will chime in every once in a while. But our boy over here, Manny Fresh. We got Manny Fresh over here just hanging out.
What's going on? Thank you.
All right, thanks, Manny.
Appreciate you guys. The tech booth point.
That's right, the tech booth point, which is just Manny on the couch right now. But that's fine. Don't worry about that. But yeah, so we've got a really cool crew here. And we're going to have a lot of cool stuff. So stay tuned. Stay with us. This is the inaugural, few episodes here. But there's a lot of really, really cool stuff coming down the pipe.
Should we break a bottle off of something? Like, just to christen it? Like,
we should get a big ribbon.
Yeah.
And just go...
Cover the mic, crack that sucker.
There's a boat in here somewhere, damn it.
Yeah. I've always wanted to break a bottle on a boat.
So. Yeah, exactly. I always want to find a little tiny boat in the thing.
By the way, before we continue, if there's anyone out there with a boat, I've always wanted to be on a boat. I've always wanted to do something on an actual yacht. Not a dinky boat. Like, not a small little boat. I just need to know one person in Chicago who has a boat and will invite me to have a party on said boat. So
that is the actual trick in Chicago, because they have those huge yacht parties on the lake.
I see them all the time.
You just see girls in bikinis, and you're like, who are these dudes who have all these boats? I mean, I want to know these dudes with these boats. I don't think they would be inviting me. I'm not going to wear a bikini or do anything for them. I mean, I guess I'd wear a bikini, but I don't think anybody would want to see that.
He'll wear a bikini on a boat if you have one.
I'll do it. I'm throwing it out there. We will do that video of me wearing a bikini on a boat. If we get somebody to do that.
This will be a recurring thing until I get on a boat.
We will keep bringing this up, for sure. But no, for real, that is definitely a thing I've been wanting as well, because you don't want to actually be the one who owns the boat. Because it's a hassle, man.
It's a lot of work.
There's a lot of work. There's maintenance that goes into that.
No.
Basically, you want to own a boat and then hire somebody to maintain the boat is the only way to really go about it. And you need money for that. which we don't have that.
Hell, I'll drive the boat. I don't know how to drive a boat,
Yeah.
but I'll even drive the boat. I just want to be on a giant boat one day. Not a cruise line, a yacht. Not mine, someone else's. So, one day.
So shout out, anybody who can shout out to us, leave a comment, reach out on our YouTube channel, Facebook, whatever. Shoot us a text. We don't care. Communicate with us, please. We want, how about cracking a bottle on a boat that has a little boat inside? That would be dope.
That's all I want to do.
That's all we really want to do in life. Then I think I could die happy.
Okay, and then we're done.
Then we're done. So if you all can make that happen, this podcast will be really quick. Like as soon as the summer comes along, it's like, oh, that's the end. We both can die
Our
now.
main goal is to
it's accomplished. I'd say that's like gotta be one of the most that would probably be one of the most successful things that have ever happened. Is like within 2 months, the podcast started. They accomplished their goal. They both died afterwards. That was the end of the podcast.
Someone looks on your job resume and like, so you worked at Staples and you cracked a bottle on a boat. How'd that feel? Was that good? Okay, I've never done that, so that's nice. You're hired. Yeah, that's important to me.
It seems like you have some unique skills that could be...
Yeah.
You're like Liam Neeson in Take It. You've got a set of unique talents that we need here in this office.
You work hard to do something very, very special.
Tell me, again, you can definitely use it about that question where they always ask you, tell me about a time you wanted to accomplish a goal, and how did you get there? Well, I wanted to find somebody who had a boat. And so I started a podcast, and I reached out to all Chicago, and one guy got back to me, and then that was the end.
It could be a lady with a boat. I'm
not
judging. It could be a lady with a boat, okay? It could be anyone with a boat.
Is it going to be a lady with a boat, do you think? The ladies go on the boat to enjoy the boat.
I mean, if a lady rocks out with a boat, then she's got some class. Like, I'm into that.
You're into it?
So if a lady's just like, no, I got a boat. Yeah, you can come and chill on my boat and break this bottle. I'll be like, I'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah, I would be there in a heartbeat. They're just like, hey, do you have any... I mean, I imagine
there's
she already has
ladies with boats. Okay, so ladies with boats. I'm not begging you, but I'm begging you. If you have a boat, and I know this is going on for a little too long, but if you have a boat, a nice size, decent boat, and you just want to give me maybe... I'll do it on a Wednesday afternoon. Like, and we could just crack a bottle on it, and I can complete my goal. It's a bucket list of mine. I want to crack a big champagne bottle off the side of the boat. It has to have a name, okay? And I'll be good. I'm ready.
In this case, I am Tommy Lee Jones, and Norm is Morgan Freeman in the movie The Bucket List, where they have the bucket list. So help us accomplish our bucket list so we can die happy, Chicago, okay? Woman with a boat. I would imagine if there was a woman with a boat, she would also have already fine whiskeys and liqueurs on the boat as well. Like, I feel like a woman who owns a boat is going to also know more about all of that than I would, which I'm fine. I like drinking it. I worked in a bar for a time, and I was like, oh, I'm going to learn these things. And I went, I don't want to learn anything. I just want to drink. And then I drank too much. That was the end of your bar career. That was the end of the bar career. Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, I'm drunk on the job. This is a bad idea.
That happens.
Yeah. And everybody, by the way, go check out Sparrow on State and Elm. Amazing bar. Shout out to Sparrow. We'll be having them on the podcast at some point for sure. Really, really cool people. A lot of cool people that I met there, and they definitely have some cool stories. A lot of them are artists and musicians themselves over there. So, quick shout out to Sparrow. Amazing place. That is our first official shout out to a place in Chicago that everybody should go check out. It is a rum bar. It is phenomenal. Well-priced drinks. You will get drunk off your... Are we going with swearing on this podcast? I'm okay with it. I feel like we shouldn't have this discussion now on the air, but we're going to do it.
Part of me says yes, and the other part of me says no, just to see you struggle.
Yeah.
Like, just to watch you kind of go, it's going to be really awesome. Like,
it's like my natural tendency is just to be free with the speech, but then I'm like, oh... If we put this on YouTube and it becomes monetized or something, it could be horrible.
Well, the best part about it is if you do that, if you curse or say anything, we'll just bleep it out with some weird noise.
Perfect.
That makes no sense.
Like the Bears.
Yeah, exactly.
Which people will know about from the earlier episodes of the Chicago 60, where we had our Mike Jaworski hosting. Yep. Mike is also really pissed he's not hosting this podcast.
Well, because, yeah.
You know? But we had to put Mike away for a little while. Mike will come out every once in a while, but Mike's busy with other things. Let's just put it that way.
It's Cub season.
Yeah,
so.
it's Cub season. He's more of a Bears guy, so we're gonna leave it there. But fantastic. Well, there you go. That's what we're looking for, folks. We're gonna give you a bunch of interesting things to look at in the city to go to, and then also if you know anybody with a boat, that's the main. That's
what this podcast
That's
is
what
about.
this is all about.
That's
really.
all this is about. Is a boat. But yeah.
Oh, hilarious. All right, no, but seriously, and actually, I saw that, I think Manny Fresh over here was one, I think you posted this on Facebook, Chicago sayings, where it was like, yeah, no means yes, and then no, yeah means no, and then yeah, no, definitely means absolutely gonna happen or some shit like that. And I was like, that is exactly, I say that stuff all the time, where I go, yeah, no, and then, but really I mean yes, let's move on to the thing. Weird. We say some weird, because, okay, so for everybody who quick introduction, so I'm Justin Jawor. We should have done this at the beginning.
Yeah.
But I grew up in the burbs, so I grew up in Bolingbrook, and right by where the IKEA is and the new Bolingbrook Promenade Mall, for those of you who know where that is.
Right, take a left by the IKEA.
Take a left. There's a guy named Bill with a poncho.
Grab yourself a Swedish meatball on the way. You'll see my parents right around the corner.
Exactly.
Can't miss them.
Yeah, so I grew up there, but I've been living in the city now for about 3.5, almost 4 years. Mostly in like Old Irving Park, Avondale. So right now we're shooting in Logan Square, Avondale area. And then Norm, you are originally from?
So I was born in Baltimore, but I don't remember that. I'm an Army brat, so I moved around way too much. But the last long relationship I had with a state and a city was South Carolina. So I guess I'm from Malden, South Carolina. It's a small town outside of Greenville, South Carolina. And spent a lot of time there looking for stuff to do.
And now that you live, how long have you been in Chicago?
Chicago, it's coming up 5 years.
Nice. Oh, you've been living here longer than I have, technically.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, at least in the city proper.
Okay.
City proper.
Okay,
I mean, I grew up here, so I beat you.
Yeah,
But.
so... And that's something I have to still learn how to understand, is that
Right.
Chicago land and Chicago are multiple.
They're separate entities, which
Exactly.
is a big deal, and people from Chicago will know this. So I used to say, "Oh, I'm from Chicago," but people who actually are born and raised in Chicago get pissed off.
Yeah, I would too.
All right, well, geez, it's not like, okay, if I'm in Arizona and somebody goes, "Oh, where are you from?" and I go, "Oh, I'm from Bolingbrook," people are like, "Where the hell is that?"
Well,
So you say Chicago, and then you get so used to saying Chicago that you just keep saying it. So don't hate on us, Chicagoans born in Chicago, to the suburb people. We're just trying to be as cool as you, okay? Let it go.
It's just like when I say, oh, I'm from Greenville. And they're like, oh, where from Greenville? And I'm like, well, Malden. And they're like, oh, I don't know where that is. I'm like, well, it's in Greenville. So, yeah. Well, where's either of them?
I feel like that's a less plausible scenario of happening than being
thing.
like,
No,
oh, where are you from?
same
From
exact
Chicago.
thing.
It's really,
Same exact
that
thing.
happens a lot, does it?
Yeah, all the time.
Okay, all right.
Not at all.
Okay. That's what I'm thinking. Like, there's nobody who's like, oh, well, yeah.
But one day it will, and I want it to happen. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm from Malden. And be like, where the fuck is that?
You already ruined it.
Yeah.
You already ruined it.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. We'll do a pass. But yeah, so that's a big ordeal though. Like I've had people I dated a girl and she was pissed with me for saying that I was from Chicago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I am. She's like, no, you're not. I was born in the city. You were born in the burbs. I'm like, ooh, what is this? Some sort of a class warfare going on?
Hell
Ooh,
yes.
what is this? Fucking the Hunger Games?
Yeah.
I swear to. It's like, come on. Who cares? What are you, some elite city person that
Don't
you
rep
can't?
the city unless you came from it.
Is that a rule?
I think so.
Is it? Because I mean,
saw it on a wall
how
somewhere.
Many
So.
people, what about people that are transplant Chicagoans that now are in another place and they still rep Chicago? And then people are like, "Oh, where are you from? You see, you're a Bears fan, so are you from Chicago?" And they go, "Yeah, I'm from Chicago." But then really, they're from Naperville. And nobody cares.
Well, if
Like,
they
you're in
knew they were
Montana.
from Naperville, then they would say something.
That's the only suburb I think people around the country may theoretically have heard of is Naperville.
I did look up Naperville before I moved here.
Yeah, there you go. See, yeah. So if you might be able to say, "Oh, I'm from Naperville," I feel like people would be like, "Naperville, where? Illinois?" And they'd be like, "Oh." I feel like that would be the response you'd get. You'd be like, "Oh."
The first time I got
Pretending
here,
that they know.
I traveled to Naperville. I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
Like it was so weird. But yeah,
You know,
Okay,
you're
good
just
point.
typical upper white middle class.
White bread,
Yeah,
straight
there's a lot of
Wonder
white
bread.
people there.
Yeah, no,
There's a lot of white
it's
people. Not that there's anything wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with a lot of white people.
I felt very safe. Half of me felt very safe.
You were walking down there, people are just like, that guy looks interesting.
Yeah, right.
He's like,
oh,
no harm is going to come of you. People are like,
welcome.
This guy looks interesting.
Welcome to Naperville.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, thanks. Stop shaking my hand. The whole town's here.
The high school coach comes up to you. Are you in high school by chance?
Hey,
You want to play tackle?
Have you seen The Blind Side? Well, yes, in fact, I have. But I'm not in high school. Well, it doesn't matter. We can skirt past that.
Is Sandra Bullock around per chance? I'm a really big fan. I don't know if she grew up in here, but
side note. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is, and I know
we're gonna
side
get
note,
into
The
stuff.
Blind Side saved my life, and I'll explain it this way. So
Couch story.
yeah, so in South Carolina, when The Blind Side came out, I had so many middle-aged white women looking at me to save me. Like, they were just looking at me like, oh, he kind of looks like that dude from The Blind Side. And they all would go, so, are you eating okay? And I'm like...
How much free food did you get?
I'm like, Miss Peterson, you live right across the street from me. You know my mom. Like, what do you mean, am I eating okay? We had you over last Sunday for dinner. You know who I am. Oh, are you sure you're eating okay, though? Like, I thought you looked familiar. Stay off my fucking lawn, by the way. Like, okay, well, thanks. Like, I got fed so damn much.
Yeah, right?
Because you turn that stuff on, oh, no, you know, it's just hard out here, you know?
Yeah.
It's hard out here being all alone and stuff. The Blind Side saved my life. Blind Side's great.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, I've never seen it. I'll take everybody's word for it. Sandra Bullock was great. I'll take it. I don't know, whatever. All right, cool. Well, I guess we should maybe get into the juice of the podcast. We've got a lot of good things to talk about here. A lot of very funny things have happened in the past week, folks. Chicago is a mainstay for hilariousness coming on in the news. So the first thing that we definitely have to talk about. So one more thing about the podcast. We will have different segments of the podcast. So this segment is called News. Okay. So let's get to the news. So first thing we have to talk about is the so not too far from where we are right now is the Belmont Blue Line. So the Belmont Blue Line, for those of you who don't know, has just undergone a major renovation to the tune of $17 million.
What?
Whoa! So according to the Chicago Tribune, the completion of the station is the biggest projects as far under the $492 million Your New Blue program to modernize and improve the O'Hare branch of the Blue Line. So this is just the first one. And let me tell you something. Based on what I've seen, can they stop now? Because what the hell?
They shut down this the main road here. They shut it down so damn hard that people were like, the roads were just horrible. Like, the traffic was packed, everyone was turning around just to build a giant bird catcher.
Yeah, that's right.
Just to build a giant glass bird catcher. Like, that's all it is.
Folks, it looks as if they were trying to build a butterfly but only built one of the wings. That's really all it is. It's ridiculous. It's this huge structure. We'll put a photo in the Facebook feed or on our YouTube page so that you all can take a look at what this ridiculous thing. It just isn't even pleasing to the eye. It's just weird looking. It's like, who are the Jetsons? Like, are we gonna fly spacecraft on top of this thing? What the hell is this?
I feel like in a matter of a week, it'll smell like pee. Like, it's only gonna take a week.
Okay, first of all, can we also admit that the CTA Blue Line and any other CTA line is basically the biggest public restroom in the whole city anyway? So you're basically making piss look better.
If I had the opportunity, I would too. I mean, to be honest.
Like, it's still gonna smell rank.
Yeah, no, completely.
But now it's like, but look at this wonderful covering we have.
What if the giant blue thing is just a giant Glade plug-in? And it just makes the entire thing just smell wonderful.
Smells fresh.
Like, you're just like, man, you know what?
Brought to you by the makers of Febreze, the Belmont Blue Line station.
You know what? The rest of the Blue Line smells like piss, but when I get off on that Blue Line stop, that Belmont stop, whew. Man, lavender
my day just gets better.
And frankincense and myrrh.
It's like Jesus is coming, everybody,
so
at the Belmont
good.
Blue Line stop.
And then I get on one of the buses, and then it just changes my...
The whole thing's over.
I get on the 77, and I'm just like, oh shit.
Which is one of the worst blue bus lines, I think.
77?
It's pretty bad.
I don't think it beats the 36.
The 36 is worse?
Only because there's this lady, and I feel bad for, but there's this lady, the first time I got on the 36, there was this lady sitting in the seat. She had a bunch of papers, and she looked like she was going through them, and I was like, man, she's working hard. And she's like flipping through all these papers, and she's like, oh my god, the devil's coming. And we're like, okay, wait, no, this is a different lady. And she's like, the devil's coming. She looks at this little kid. This kid's staring at her intently. And he's just trying to figure it out like the rest of us are. And she looks at this kid and goes, everyone's going to die and the devil's going to eat you. The only person to save us is Enrique Iglesias.
Enrique Iglesias?
And I was just like, why Enrique? Like, what makes him special? And I was like, is it the mole? Because he cut that off. So he doesn't have the power. I think the 36 is the... Because you never know what's going to happen.
On the bus.
Because the 36 gives you like this veil of safety. And then someone hops on that looks like they potentially have a bomb.
Yeah.
And then it just changes things.
It's like, we all gonna die.
Yeah.
We gonna die today.
Yeah.
He gonna die.
I've had that thought before. Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
But yeah, the giant, how much was it?
It's okay, so it was $17 million for just that station, and it's $492 million for the entire program. Can we also say, Your New Blue? What a horrific name for a program. Your New Blue. First of all, how presumptuous of you to assume that I would want anything new that is blue. Okay? I don't want, do you think that blue is my favorite color? I mean, I get it's the Blue Line station, but...
You don't like rhymes?
Who are these marketing people in government who think that these are... Like, at least if you're gonna do something, call it, like, make it wacky. You know what I mean?
Okay, so I think you have to realize...
Crazy shenanigans!
I don't think they care about the marketing when they just got $17 million to build a blue line.
Serious.
That's where their work went to. They're like, oh, just call it.
Where is that money going? Is really the case, like,
I mean, we could put it into the schools.
Right. There's, places we could probably put that. But, hey, you know what? If you like half a butterfly... We can go to Belmont.
We do have to be careful though, because we don't know if those are like giant mech machines
right,
or like giant transformers.
Maybe they're tiny. Yeah, that's right.
And like it could be like Pritzker's idea, which is like I'm going to make giant evil butterflies, and they're all going to connect together like Voltron, and then I'm going to destroy the world with them. But I have to spend this money first. I have to spend my own money.
I have to spend my own money so I can create the ultimate Voltron.
Yeah.
And destroy the entire city of which I was...
Could be. I think it would make things interesting.
Regardless if Rom or Lori Lightfoot or Tony Preckwinkle is involved. I don't care about any of them. Screw the city.
But the only thing
my biggest cash cow and my biggest voter base. Screw them. I'm going to destroy them.
I feel like if a giant butterfly, like mech butterfly, came off of all the CTA blue lines or whatever, I think everyone would look at it and go, well... At least it's not snowing. They'd see it and they'd be like, "Oh, well, at least it's a beautiful day outside."
They're right. That's true. I mean, you know what it looks like? It looks like they were trying to make an Apple store, and then halfway through they just decided to stop.
And they gave up.
They gave up.
Yeah.
They're like, there's enough windows. This'll work. Like people can see inside just somewhere.
Also, who's cleaning that?
I don't know.
Because birds are gonna flock to it, and they put those weird spike things, which. Fortunate enough, you never see a bird on them because we see enough street pigeons as is, like with no foot.
Screw street pigeons, by the way. They are bastards. They do not move out for anybody.
Okay, so I
just
think
an aside.
I think street pigeons are straight thugs. I kind of like them. I think I kind of like a good city pigeon because the city pigeon gives no fucks.
Right,
that's true. Swans, those fucking winged beasts are a problem, and they need to be dealt with. Like Swans are more gang affiliated than actual gangs.
That is
like
true.
if you walk on a swan's turf, there's always one just watching you.
Watching you.
Just watching you walk past.
Just like he's a bouncer.
Just acknowledging like I will fuck you up, by the way.
What? You coming on our turf, man?
Yeah.
Don't you know this is the new blue swan crew, bro?
They're nothing to mess with. Swans
Come
are
on,
evil.
man.
But city pigeons, they're just trying to make a living.
Yeah, they're just hustling, man. They're just hustling. They're just hustling, you know, selling their weed. It's all good.
If you love a city pigeon, love a city pigeon.
If you want some good weed, go find a city pigeon. That's what I'm going to tell you.
If that was the case, everyone would be loving pigeons.
That's right. Nobody would want to kill.
Like, did you know pigeons poop out weed? Holy crap, I got a pigeon coop in the back, man. Makes the best weed you've ever had.
I don't have to grow weed. I just got pigeons, man.
I keep pigeons on the regular.
Oh, man. Well, interestingly enough about the CTA as well is that now, so if you were to use the Blue Line, now you can use Apple Pay to pay. What? Was part of the deal that Apple was like, hey, if you can make a station like our stores, but then you have to let us use Apple Pay. Who the hell in their right mind? Like, what's next? Bitcoin? You can start paying for the Metro with Bitcoin? Are you kidding me? Who uses Apple Pay?
What if the CPAs do become Apple stores and
that's what
you just kind of charge your phone?
It's a huge ploy.
You're like, ma'am, you have to go through the gate. I'm charging my phone right now. Ma'am, no, you have to go through the gate.
As soon as you walk in, there's just an Apple employee. Hey, do you need some new headphones on your ride with the Blue Line?
Like, leave me alone. God, they got really aggressive.
Yeah, they got very aggressive. Oh my goodness.
But what about the people who don't have? Well, I'm assuming with everyone else, like you just scan your phone into the.
Yeah. So exactly. So they're saying here, pay CTA fare with your iPhone. So you basically will be able to just like remember the days when you saw the Jerry Seinfeld commercials with the American Express, like, oh, American Express, oh, it's so easy, and now they got the Starbucks things like, oh, it's so easy, I just put my code thing and the QR code thing.
I've never seen that.
You ever seen that one?
No, not at all.
Alright, it's probably not Jerry Seinfeld, but it's just better to do his voice with it because it's this. Just go with it, damn it.
Go with it.
It's like, yeah, hey, look at that. And now it's gonna be like that, but it's Steve Jobs' voice, which I don't know how to do.
That's dark. Steve Jobs' voice should not be selling me anything.
As soon as you pay with the Apple thing, Steve Jobs, thank you. It's just like you're giving more to our amazing amounts of. Basically, I'm Donald Duck in a vault somewhere with a bunch of money. It's just like. I'm ridiculous.
But I guess if they're trying to allow you to pay without having a card or having some form of physical thing there other than a giant phone that you carry with you all the time,
right?
I guess it's a good thing, right?
Yeah, no, it's a good thing. It's a very good thing.
Just for people who don't have Apple phones.
Yeah, or I don't know. Maybe just prepay through the freaking Ventra app. Just do that.
Yeah, are they gonna have like deals? Are they gonna still have like because I pay $100 a month for unlimited rides. Are they gonna do the same thing with Apple Pay, or are they gonna?
All it says here is Chicago is proud to work with Apple to elevate the experience of CTA riders. New Ventra cards on iPhone will build on the strength of the existing Ventra system to make commuting in Chicago even easier and more convenient, and help modernize America's second largest mass transit system for the 21st century.
Wait, we're second?
Apparently we're second. I imagine New York is number one, or LA. I imagine New York's probably number one. But
yeah,
still,
that makes sense.
Still, I mean, just kind of ridiculous that's just, I don't know. I don't know who's going to use that.
Coming from an Apple user.
True, I do use Apple. This Facebook Live is using my Apple phone, that is true. But, oh my gosh, just ridiculous. But, yeah, well, moving right along, in utter news. So apparently there was a study out here where experts are saying, and these are psychology experts, I'm going to pull up the article as well, but basically they're saying, hey, if you see somebody who's mentally ill on the CTA, just be kind. Really, because if I see somebody who I deem to be mentally ill on the CTA, I just avoid them like everybody else. I thought that was the ultimate form of kindness, is to ignore them. I thought that was the ultimate thing. It's like, hey, cool, man. Live your life. Live your best life. I'm going to be chilling, listening to my YouTube that I'm watching right now, man.
I think that is the ultimate form of kindness, as
Isn't
you
it? Right? I'm not afraid to say it.
Everyone's just not talking to anyone.
Right.
Like,
Nobody talks to anybody anyway.
It's so weird when you have a conversation on the CTA and you're like,
right.
I have to talk to you the entire way.
Right, exactly.
Like, I don't want to talk to you the entire way. I had either a podcast or some music I want to listen to. I got a good book I want to read. And right now, we gotta have a conversation.
Yeah.
And then we gotta start figuring out topics, and then everyone else is quiet.
Even if you see a friend that you're in, even if I see a friend or like a former coworker or a coworker, I don't want to be talking to. I have my own thing going on. Now it's like, and I have to do more small talk with somebody I did not want to talk to.
My favorite is that
Screw that.
that like acknowledgement between two people who are just like, I don't want to fucking talk. That like, oh hey, how you doing? Oh good, good, okay. And then they walk their separate ways, and then headphones go in, and we're done. We don't have to conversate.
Yeah. According to CTA spokeswoman Catherine Hazinski, she sounds Polish, says that writers should always be respectful of other writers. Again, ignore everybody. I think that's fair.
Yeah, don't talk.
Don't talk to them. But put their own safety first and call 911 if they feel threatened. So how does that even go with the kindness aspect? If you're trying to be kind, so if a crazy mentally ill person starts like yelling in your face, what's the threshold of I'm safe versus I'm not safe now?
Well, it's a very like fight or flight thing. Like you stoically go, I don't see you there. Like you do the like, because you know when they're like, hey, I like pigeons, like, you know, and you hear them immediately once you get on, and you're like, I like pigeons, and you're just like, okay, I'm not gonna sit over there. But sometimes you have to.
Yeah, like there are some people who I've seen on the CTA, and they're literally screaming and swearing, like, this shit crazy. The world is the devil, and everyone's gonna die. And you're just sitting there like, oh man, I just wanted to read this newspaper and go to my work.
But sometimes you're
just.
But sometimes you're just like, yeah, they are.
Right.
Like,
there
it's crazy.
There he is.
Sometimes you do like agree with him, like, oh man, it's shit, right?
Yeah, sometimes I want to agree with them, but I don't want to talk to him. That's my kindness.
I mean, I think they're asking you to, if there is a person who's down and out and hard on their, hard on times, hard on their luck, like, show them a bit of kindness.
Right.
Like, it gets cold in Chicago.
Sure.
So, yes, give that person some gloves. Do the right thing.
Have you seen the people who, I've seen this primarily on the Blue Line, but I'm sure they're on other lines, and they give like the little tissue papers with the card. Have you seen that one?
No.
Yeah. So there's these people on the Blue Line, and they put little tissue packets next to you with a little card on top of it that says something about, I don't even know, I guess I have a kid, help me out or some stuff. And then they pick them all up or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know I never know what to do with that.
I'm sorry.
So many people just ignore the hell out of that. They just walk by and pick them all up again. I'm like, this seems like a very unproductive way to make a buck. I don't know about you.
The hustles, the side hustles that some of those people do on the real is so fucking good.
Right.
Like it's so talented. Like there's this one lady in my neighborhood who's always crying about her children. And I felt really bad because it's really sad. I'll shake your kids, Yeah. But then every week she's doing the same story, and every week it hasn't changed, and this has been for 4 years. And I'm like, in this 4 years, nothing has developed.
Nothing's developed.
Like the kids should have become teenagers by now. The kids are this close to walking out.
It's like watching an episode of South Park or The Simpsons. The kids just never get old.
And it's like never
keeps the story the same.
But I guess I get it. Like if there are people fucking dealing with hard shit, and sometimes you just gotta. Sometimes, like you said, the nicest thing to do is just let them have their moment and be like, I completely.
That is the ultimate form of kindness. I think that
it's just to not acknowledge them at all.
Right, just don't acknowledge them. That's the way you're the most kind.
Unless they're hurt or something's wrong or they need help,
of course,
help them out. Please help them out. But if they're like. Just like, I need to get some stuff off my chest.
Exactly.
Let them do it.
As James in this Tribune article said, be open to being an ally to someone who's having a terrible day.
Oh, that's different. That's everyone.
I think that's... Yeah, how does that have to do with mental illness?
We stopped talking about the same thing.
Yeah, that's not even... I don't know. But anyway, transportation song quiz. Oh, that sounds interesting. We'll have to look at that. Anyway, if you want to learn more about that and what the experts say, feel free to go to the Chicago Tribune, look it up. You can read the whole article there and see what you need to do in case you encounter one of these amazing individuals on the CTA. Now, keeping in theme with transportation, another quick story about that. So, O'Hare is going to be getting a massive expansion. So apparently, they're trying to expand Terminal 5 of the International Airport, and there's like some $8.5 billion revamp project going on. I don't know if the stuff with the Blue Line is part of it or not, But it's this huge thing, and they just selected a new architect, and this architect is the hip new architect. Her name is Jean Gang.
Is that how she introduces herself every time she walks into a room?
Jean Gang.
Because I'd hire her.
Yeah, I would. I'd say she's basically like the sleuth. She's the sleuth of architects. Hey everyone, I'm gonna steal the plans from another architect.
I'm like, wait a minute, how'd you get in here?
Yeah, exactly. Who are you, lady?
Where did you come from?
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, no, Jean Gang. So Jean Gang, but she's a local Chicagoan architect apparently, and apparently she's like the new best thing. She's the hottest thing since sliced bread. Sliced bread. Sliced bread.
I will dissect that later.
We'll do. Yeah. We'll dissect that. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I assume. Who knows? Okay. Anything's possible these days.
We're gonna let that slip.
We're gonna let that go. I'll let the viewers decide about that one. In the comments, what did you think I meant? Breasts or bread?
I think we should change that. Like, who talks about sliced bread anymore? Okay, the hottest new thing since sliced bread. Sliced bread's old.
Sliced chicken
bread
breast
comes out
That's
sliced.
What you're saying, yeah.
No, we're talking about chicken breast. Okay, have you ever sliced a chicken breast? That's the hottest new thing. You ever cut down the center of a goddamn chicken breast? Hottest thing ever. Have you ever just gutted a chicken breast? I mean, hottest thing since sliced chicken breast.
Oh man. They can't get hot. No. Put them in a pan with some olive oil and butter.
Oh, no.
All right. Anyway, so they got this new architect, and apparently they're gonna. It's some ridiculous fee. So I mean, I feel good about this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of money. I know that they've been trying to do this for a long time, and I think they actually got some of the airlines to pitch in for this, which was a big deal because because some of the because as Emmanuel was trying to do this, and basically they're saying, well, if you want to get more business out of O'Hare, because we're trying to compete with Atlanta, screw Atlanta. I mean, ATL's okay, I guess, but nevertheless, Chicago needs to have the largest airport. Okay, Atlanta on the coast, how are they number one? That makes no sense to me. Chicago is centrally located across the whole U.S. We should be number one. I don't even know where O'Hare is now, like number 2 or 3. It's ridiculous. But apparently by adding this expansion, it's going to get Chicago back to number 1 with the most air traffic coming through. And it sounds good because O'Hare sucks. For anybody who's been there, it's horrific. So I think any expansion, I think they're doing expansions to Terminal 5 and to Terminal 2 are where the big things are. I think they got like United.
Really?
I think they got United and like American Airlines to chip in for some of this.
I'm surprised.
Delta Airlines will
yeah.
relocate to Terminal 5 as well. So they're, American Airlines. Yeah, so they're making this huge expansion. So all these airlines are basically going to be centered there, and they're going to have all the smaller ones in some of the other terminals. So your whole experience in O'Hare is going to change Chicago.
All that baggage claim money, like all that
that's right.
money you pay, putting your bags in and not being able to carry your stuff on. That's going to a good cause.
Yeah. Manny, you know about this. You were just flying, right? You just flew.
Yeah, but I was flying in the Midway.
Oh,
yeah, Midway.
I prefer Midway.
Yeah, Midway's great.
That's the whole point. That's why they're doing this expansion, because Midway is definitely easier to get around, and that's where you can go through Southwest, which is by far the best airline.
The best airline ever.
Southwest is definitely
definitely
airline hands down.
I mean, you can pick where you want to sort of sit.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You can bring on a bag.
Equal on Southwest.
Pretty much.
Equality.
And then the best part about Midway is that half of it looks like a school. Like there's a weird tunnel where you keep walking and then you're like, am I in a goddamn school?
Yeah.
Like it looks like if you go into one room, there's an auditorium with a bunch of kids just sitting there.
There's just at one point you're walking and there's just lockers and you're like, do I use these?
There's weird kids drawings. Every time I get like, this is still really weird.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's bizarre.
Yeah,
for sure.
and no one explains it. That's what I love about it.
Nobody does. Nobody does.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but
Midway all the way.
Yeah, Midway is definitely better. Go use Southwest. Yeah, O'Hare. That's right. Well, that's what this is for. So if your experience is going to change 100% Chicago. Yeah. So it should be. They just got the architect, this Jean Gang, and so many jokes popped in my head from earlier. We'll let it go. But So it's not going to happen anytime soon. I think it's going to happen within the next 3 to 5 years.
Never does.
I mean, it's Chicago, so this project will probably last 20 years.
Yeah.
But it's still
I'll see it when I'm long gone.
Yeah. Well, we're not even going to be flying anymore. They're going to be finishing the episode. It's like, well, we have this teleportation device now where you can flow through a tube and get to where we're in Futurama now. Where's Dr.
But then they say,
Zoidberg?
like, do you want to go to here? No.
No, that's right. Yeah, we just all these expansions are 20 years old, but it still sucks. We just wasted $8.5 billion of taxpayer money.
Teleportation's a little bit slow over here. I'm going to go Midway.
Yeah, that's right. Midway's on the up and up.
I can bring a bag and the Midway teleportation.
Midway's on the up and up. All right. Cool. So Norm, I saw an interesting poll that came out, also from the Tribune, and I know you've got this story pulled up, but there's a poll that says that people think that the roads in Chicago are bad, but we don't want to pay for them.
Yeah, it's
How are we going to fix the roads?
It's kind of insane. It says like most Illinois residents think the state roads are fair or in bad shape, but we don't want to pay more taxes to fix them.
Right.
That is both insane and hilarious.
Yeah, it's like...
There's like, so what do you think about the roads? Oh, they fucking suck. No, they're fucking annoying. There's potholes everywhere. I fucking can't drive without breaking something. It's fucking ridiculous. I'm rattling everywhere. Well, what do you think we should do to fix them? Not charge me. Not have it come out of my goddamn hard-earned taxes.
Right.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Excuse me, sir. What do you think of the roads? They suck. Yeah. All right. Do you think we should fix them? Yeah. Do you want to raise taxes? No.
But we have, apparently, Illinois roads are at a D rating. Like,
there's a rating for roads?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
The American Society of Engineers gave Illinois roads a D or poor rating in its 2018 infrastructure report card, which I find it fun. I want to see all the road report cards.
Yeah, I want to see all of them, yeah.
Kind of cute.
Yeah.
But the fact that we...
A little road comes by, Mommy, I got my report card. What'd you get? A D, Chicago, you're the worst child.
It's a piece of trash. Like, I will...
Sit in the cupboard.
I mean, it's good, though, that we didn't get an F. We didn't fail. I want to know what a failing road looks like, but I can imagine it.
It's just dirt.
just gravel. It's just gravel.
It's like, figure it out, folks.
But to your work. We just spent $17 million on a blue line butterfly, and we can't fix the roads.
Oh my god!
So I don't really know.
Also, there was legislation that came out like a year or two ago where the state specifically made a fund where money is only going to be used for state and local roads. There was a new amendment that came out, or addendum or whatever, and everybody in the state got to vote for it. And it basically just says that any money that gets collected by your iPass tolls is only going to now be used for maintaining the roads. But apparently, I don't know, I mean, that doesn't really affect anything in Chicago, but if this is all talking about state roads and things, well, we should already be having money to fix the damn roads.
And it's also coming after a bridge cracked.
Oh,
like,
awesome.
We all saw a bridge crack out of nowhere. Bridges don't normally... I don't know. I'm not a bridge builder. What's a bridge builder called? Like
bridge builder.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Then, just making sure there wasn't any special name for a bridge builder.
Yeah.
I'm not a fucking bridge builder.
If any of you know a more technical name, please tell us, because we're dumb and we don't know.
All the bridge enthusiasts out there.
Right, all the bridge
if you can talk to the
bridge enthusiasts.
If you can talk to the boat enthusiasts.
I know this bridge in Minnesota cracked because of the high pressure, and this one in California, that's the Golden Gate Bridge.
Don't offend the bridge enthusiasts. We need as many fans as we can get. Sorry, bridge enthusiasts. Sorry. We weren't making fun of you. We were just talking about you.
Yeah.
But, like, I guess if we're Illinois residents and we're the people who have to make the change, why don't we do the work? Like, why don't we pay the taxes and make our roads better? Even though when we pay the taxes, we don't know where that money's going.
Yeah, we definitely.
So, I kind of understand it. I kind of get it. Like, we're saying the roads are bad because they are, they're crap. And they take so long to get fixed. And when they do get fixed, we're happy. But we don't want to have to pay for that when it's really not our responsibility. It's
right.
I'm assuming it's our government. It's our local government. It's like, what do we need to do to fix it? And they're like, well, you need to give us more money. Like, you need to take that money you build a giant butterfly with and fix the fucking roads. So, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So I get it.
It's just ridiculous. The fact that a major metropolitan city and the greatest city in the world, Chicago, has D rating. I mean, unless it's double D, I don't want that rating, okay? You know what I'm saying?
Why would you want it worse? Double D's lower on the scale of A through...
I mean...
Like, double D's after Z. Yeah. Like, we've looped back around on the alphabet.
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to make a sexual joke.
I know.
Come on, man, let it go.
And that's why I brought back logic.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, well, let's try and get through a few more of these stories real quick. So... we still have to do the Jag Off of the Week, which is coming up as an amazing segment. We'll get to that in just a second. One thing that I wanted to talk about really briefly and some information this is important for people in Chicago to know. Home prices are falling across the U.S. So the U.S. is going through another, not a crisis for homes, but according to the article in the Tribune, it appears that prices for homes are now decreasing at the highest level since I think like a couple quarters ago or something like that. So what that means for Chicago is, and I have the statistic pulled up here. Where is it? Yeah, okay. So home price gains. Okay, primarily gains. Home price gains. So prices have been going up, but the gains have now basically reached a plateau, and they're not going at a steady pace and increasing. They've fallen to the lowest level in more than 6 years. Chicago's gains level for housing prices is only 2.4%, which is the worst, by the way. It's the worst. So that means your value of your homes that you're buying here in Chicago are basically not increasing, or if they are increasing, it's minimal. It's less than our GDP as a nation, basically, which is not good. So you're if you have a home right now is not the time to sell. It's not a good time. And that's why everybody's freaking leaving the city. Chicago is still the only major metropolitan city in the country that has a negative and declining population growth percentage in the whole country. Every other major metropolitan city is growing. Gangbusters. Like Charleston is growing. Charlotte is growing like gangbusters. Houston, Austin, those places growing like crazy. Even San Diego. I mean, it's beautiful. It's sunny. But nevertheless, Chicago, because of the taxes and everything else, that was the worst whistling I've ever done.
That's okay.
But so this is I don't even like have anything funny to say about it because it's just so sad. It's just like, I don't want to buy a home here right now. It's a horrible time to be purchasing a home.
I don't want to buy a home either. So if you're getting rid of your home, just let me know. Just DM me or
we'll just what's the term for that? When you just go into a home, what is it?
That's called breaking and entering. That is definitely called breaking and entering. That's called breaking and entering.
No.
Possible trespassing.
Yeah.
If no one's there, I don't know. What are you doing inside of the home? Are you just there to look at it?
No, but people vacate a place and then you go. Was it gawking or what the hell is the term? I can't think of it.
Gawking?
No, not gawking. It's not gawking, but it's like you basically go and inhabit a place that's vacant. I can't remember what it's called.
Like squatting?
Yes! Thank you. Squatting, yes. Yeah, so if anybody knows of any homes, Norm and I are happy to squat in your house.
Man, you won't believe it. I am gawking in this place right now, man. I am up in this place. No one's here.
We're gawking hardcore.
Squatting like a motherfucker.
I was gawking at this home, and I thought about squatting in it, and then I didn't. And it was good.
I mean, but you're also breaking it. No, but if you...
Typical.
I don't know if there are any rich people watching this or listening to this, but because here's the thing, I'm very into Great Expectations, the book. I always wanted a rich benefactor to just save my life, just to kind of come out of nowhere and be like, I'm your uncle. And I'm like, no, you're not, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So if anyone's got a house and a boat that they just want
to get rid of,
like my entire goal is just to start accumulating wealth. Slowly and surely accumulating wealth.
Just accumulate it. Yeah. Through the faults of others.
Through favors and signed paperwork.
Yeah, exactly. You don't even need the signed paperwork. Just
legal
give it
documentation.
We will will sign on the line that is dotted if you just give us your stuff. We'll take it, even if there's an issue with it. We'll take it. We'll deal with it.
Or he'll
just
break
to
into
have
your
it.
house.
Yeah, or he'll break into your house. One of those two things will definitely occur. So anyway, don't buy a house right now, folks.
Don't buy a house right now.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get to the last final things, I think. So let's just get to the Jag-Off of the Week story. It's time for the Jag-Off of the Week! Alright, we'll eventually have a cool thing for that. We're working on it. But you just said you just get to see my dumb face yelling at you. So one segment we're going to always do is called the Jag-Off of the Week. For anybody who's in Chicago and you know what a Jag-Off is, basically a horrible person. And this week's Jag-Off, we have a doozy. Basically, the entire family that owns Krispy Kreme you're all Jag-Offs. So the story that came out that broke on CNN and in the Tribune was that the Krispy Kreme owners admitted to having a family history with Nazi ties. You just ruined my entire donut eating experience. How can I eat a Krispy Kreme donut ever? Is there not a better way to end your business than by being like, yeah, we had Nazis. We got Nazi relatives.
Definitely brings hot to a whole different meaning. It's kind of like we got hot donuts.
We got
turn that hot lamp on.
We put them in the oven.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean.
It brings that glaze kind of thing to
yeah, exactly.
But the KK,
they glazed over. If you know what I'm
the
saying.
The KK. SS, I don't think that's connected any, but
yeah,
is it?
Yeah, right.
Because you can't make me love your donuts,
right?
And then go, by the way, yeah, we used to be Nazis. You ate those, didn't you? What's going on?
Oh, man.
So wait, they had just Nazi ties in their family, and they just wanted to outwardly admit.
They're even gonna. It says here the family expects to publish a book next year that will detail the family ties. I don't get how they thought this was a good marketing strategy. I am not going to eat any more Krispy Kreme donuts. I don't give a crap about what you're. I'm not going to buy your book either. It's like as soon as you said, yeah, we have Nazis in our family in lineage. It's like cool. Bye bye.
I gotta say, as a fat person, my mind's really kind of divided because I do love donuts, but I hate Nazis. So I'm really kind of working on that. And what if that was the ploy to get people to get skinnier?
Do you think it was yeah, maybe. It's like, don't eat the donuts. They were by Nazis. They're made by former Nazis.
Well, they're not former Nazis. They're just family members.
They're former Nazis. They're former Nazis.
We can't say that.
They specifically may not be, but their family were former Nazis.
Or maybe they had to outwardly say that because they were worried that people would eventually know.
I guess that's the way it is. Somebody is like, can you imagine that family meeting where somebody just walks in and they're just like, guys, I got some bad news. What? Apparently our ancestors were Nazis. Well, shit, we better break this story before we get screwed. Do you think that's a good idea to break this story? Yeah, dude. We should just admit it.
Your grandpa, Klaus Christoph, he was an SS. I don't know how to put that.
You know, we got the name Krispy Kreme, yeah.
Oh God, Krispy Kreme! That's bad. I have to separate them.
No.
I have to separate them. That's not okay. You can't just admit your family were Nazis. What are you doing? You're ruining a good thing.
Yeah, it gives the whole term crispy a whole new phrase for that. Yes. Suffice it to say, I don't think I could eat another Krispy Kreme donut without feeling sheer guilt as soon as I bit into one. Just instant, just.
This sucks.
Do I have to ask a Jewish person if I'm allowed to eat a Krispy Kreme donut? Excuse me, may I eat this?
I think if you walked into a Jewish person and was like, can I eat this donut? They'd be like, I don't know what the fuck you want to do. Get the fuck out of my face.
Is it kosher?
Who the hell are you? Eat the goddamn donut and move along. Thank you.
Does it bring you happiness? Eat the donut. I don't care. But the owners who made this were former Nazis. They had family
are we
ties
sure
to
the
Nazis.
family ties to Nazis?
Family ties.
That's
to
like
Nazis.
a cousin. Okay,
It could be a cousin. It could be a cousin.
A cousin or so, right?
I don't know everything about it, but they're called the Ryman family.
All right. Well, let's look that up later. Let's find out some more information.
We'll find out. We'll add more details later coming up into the show.
Yeah.
But anyway, Krispy Kreme family, you're a bunch of jagoffs, okay?
For now.
So, yeah, maybe you'll redeem yourselves, but unlikely you jagoffs. All right. Fantastic. Well, you know what? We had a few other stories that we wanted to get to, but we're already at about an hour, Norm. This was just us shooting the shit for an hour already. I think this is going to work out.
I'm sorry, I'm still thinking about donuts. It's a hard day for me.
Well, everybody, thank you so much for watching the first inaugural Chicago 60 podcast. I guarantee you we will have a lot more fun stuff coming out in the future. Like we said at the beginning of the podcast, we're going to have these guests on. Some of these episodes may go for an hour, maybe even 2 hours. We're not trying to be like Joe Rogan, but when things get crazy, like the way we didn't know where this was going to go, and already we talk a lot. But hopefully you learned something today, at least about transportation. That seems to be, we didn't mean to have a theme.
Transportation and Krispy Kreme.
But we could have talked about Jussie Smollett and all other things, but, you know, I think the news is covering that.
Yeah, let's not talk about that anymore.
But I have so many things to say.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
All right. Anyway, there's also a mayoral race happening. That's going to be happening soon, so we will talk about that on a future episode as well, because we have two of the funniest names of mayoral candidates I have ever heard in my life. Tony Preckwinkle and Lori Lightfoot.
Let the Lightfoot in, but don't get Preckwinkle.
So we'll get to more of that on future episodes. Stay tuned, everybody. Once again, this is Norm Burt.
I'm Norm.
And I'm Justin Jawor for the Chicago 60 podcast. Shout out to Manny Fresh, who's doing all the stuff.
Thank you.
All right, Manny. This is us from the Chicago 60 signing off. And as we like to say here on the Chicago 60,
down!
And forget the Packers!
Yeah.